You are brushing your teeth, and suddenly you are back in that conversation from lunch. Not all of it, just one sentence you wish you could take back. Your brain is not looking for better words, it is checking for danger. Did I sound weird? Did they take it wrong? Every replay feels useful. Usually it just makes the moment bigger. So why does one comment follow you home, and how do you let it end? Think of your brain as a nervous friend who got hold of the security footage. It zooms in on the pause before they answered. It turns up the volume on the word you said wrong. It keeps the message that said only okay, then somehow deletes the 5 perfectly normal minutes around it. Now that 2-second pause is the whole movie. There is just one problem: pauses are terrible evidence. Maybe they were annoyed, maybe they were tired, maybe they were thinking about what to cook for dinner, maybe the pause meant absolutely nothing. But if the conversation mattered to you, your mind will usually grab the explanation that feels most urgent. And urgent does not mean true. It only means your brain has found a question it cannot answer cleanly. Do they still like me? Did I embarrass myself? Are they going to remember that? You cannot climb into another person's head and check, so your brain does the next best thing it can think of: it plays the scene again. Then again. Then once more, just in case the answer was hiding behind the exact same information. Psychologists have a dry name for this: post-event processing. A more honest name might be, why am I still arguing with someone who is not even in the room? Now, thinking about a conversation afterward is not always bad. Sometimes you really do learn something. Maybe you realize you interrupted them. Maybe your joke was sharper than you intended. Maybe there is a text you should send. Useful reflection ends somewhere. It says, next time I will let them finish, or I should apologize, then it gives you your evening back. Rumination does not want a lesson, it wants a guarantee. It asks, can I think about this long enough to prove they did not judge me? That is how you can tell the difference. Is this thought giving you anything new to do, or is it bringing the same charge against you in slightly different words? Because if the answer is always yes, but what if they thought I was weird, you are not solving the conversation anymore. You are teaching yourself not to trust your own memory of it. And here is the biggest clue to why certain conversations stick: it is not only what you said, it is who heard it. But before that makes sense, notice what the replay does to your next conversation. At first, you lose 10 minutes while making coffee. Then you open the chat and check whether their last message had a period. Later, you are lying in bed rebuilding a conversation the other person may have forgotten before they even got home. The more often you replay the worst part, the more that part starts to feel like the whole thing. That came out a little awkward slowly becomes, I made a complete fool of myself. Then the next time you see them, you are no longer just talking. You are choosing every word before it leaves your mouth. You are checking your face while they speak. You are looking for tiny signs that they are pulling away. Half of you is in the conversation. The other half is standing in the corner with a clipboard giving you a score. No wonder you feel stiff. The thing you do to avoid being awkward can make it harder to connect at all. Now go back to that clue: who heard it? You can have a painfully awkward exchange with a stranger and forget it by dinner. Then your boss replies sure instead of sounds good, and suddenly your whole afternoon belongs to one word. Why? Usually it is not just about the sentence, it is about what you think the sentence could cost you. Maybe you wanted your boss to see you as capable. Maybe you wanted a new group to think you were interesting. Maybe one small disagreement with a friend touched the fear that conflict means someone is about to leave. The more you care about the person's opinion, the louder the uncertainty becomes. So the size of the replay does not always tell you how bad the conversation was. Sometimes it tells you how badly you wanted to be seen a certain way. That is why just stop overthinking is useless advice. Your mind does not believe it is wasting time, it believes it is protecting something important. That does not mean every worry is imaginary. Sometimes you did interrupt. Sometimes the joke did land badly. Sometimes a person really is upset. But a mistake you can repair and a trial that never ends are two different things. If you did something clear, do something clear, send the text. Say, I realized I cut you off earlier, I'm sorry. Then let the repair be the repair. But if nobody was harmed, nobody asked for an explanation, and you have learned nothing new after the fifth replay, a sixth replay will not suddenly become evidence. Knowing why the loop happens is useful, but it does not help much at 11:47 at night when your brain has just started replay number 9. So what do you do then? Do not order yourself to stop thinking, give the replay a finish line. Use the security camera test. First ask, what would a camera have recorded? I made a joke, they paused, then they changed the subject. That is footage. They think I am annoying is not footage. That is the voiceover your anxious brain added later. Second, say the story out loud for what it is. The story I am telling myself is that I ruined the whole interaction. Notice the difference? You are not saying the story is definitely wrong, you are just no longer pretending it came straight from the other person's head. Now give the pause two other possible meanings. Maybe they were distracted, maybe they did not hear you. You do not need to force yourself to believe either one, you are simply reminding your brain that they hate me now was never the only option. Then ask the question that ends the review. Is there anything I can actually do? If yes, do one thing, apologize, clarify, remember the lesson. If no, say, there is nothing new here. Then touch something real, feel the cold water on your hands, put your feet flat on the floor, step outside and notice whether the air is warm or cold. You are not trying to magically delete the thought. You are showing your brain that the conversation is over and your life has moved to a different room. The replay may come back, that is okay, you do not have to follow it every time it calls your name. Just ask, am I learning something, or am I begging for a guarantee? Keep the lesson if there is one, make the repair if there is one. But stop asking an old conversation to tell you exactly what another person thinks of you. It cannot do that, no amount of replay will change the footage. Tonight, when that nervous editor presses play again, you do not need to watch the whole movie. Check what actually happened. Fix what can be fixed. Then go back to brushing your teeth. The other person already left that conversation, you can leave it too.